Frolo is the app that several thousand single parents say has been life changing for them in the most profound way. If you're a single parent and want to connect with other single parents and open yourself up to an amazing support network and new experiences, then the Frolo app is the one for you. The Frolo app has two modes: community mode for meetups and holidays, guidance and support, chats, and discovery to make it easy to find like minded local single parents near you. Dating mode is a mindful, safe, and respectful dating offering where everybody is there to date another single parent. All users on Frolo are verified, putting our user safety first always. The Frolo app is free to download and use, with the option to upgrade to premium for access to lots of additional premium features for an elevated experience, which makes it easier than ever to access the incredible connections and experiences you're looking for. To download Frolo, search for Frolo, Frolo, on the App or Google Play Store, or go to www.frolo.com for more info. We can't wait to see you on the app soon. Hi, I'm Zoe Desmond, the founder of Frolo, the award-winning app for single parents that features both community and dating modes. And I'm also co-author, along with my wonderful friend Rebecca Cox, that I made through Frolo, of the book How to Be a Happy Single Parent. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Frolo podcast. Today I am really pleased to be joined by Hunt Etheridge, and Hunt is an award-winning dating and relationship expert and coach. Hunt, welcome to the Frolo podcast.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Dating is one of our listeners' favorite things to talk about, hear about, and lots of our single parents. Not everyone is in the dating space or ready to date, but a lot are kind of navigating, getting back out there and dating again. So it's something that's definitely comes up a lot in our community. So the first question is, I'd love to know a bit about what led you to doing this work that you're doing.
Absolutely. So 17-ish years ago, I was going to my therapist for various and sundries, as we all should, especially you men out there. And she said to me, the men that come in here are broken and I can fix them. But the thing that they want the most is to have a woman by their side, and I can't give them that. You know more about this than anybody I've ever met. You need to figure out a way to monetize this. And the minute you do, I'll refer all of my patients to you.
Wow.
So that's at least what kind of started the journey, having a female psychotherapist give me 3 resounding pats on the back to start the journey. Do I know more? Is it teachable? Is it an art? Is it a science? How do you break it down? Is it different for men and women, et cetera, et cetera? And I started doing this basically when online dating was still considered to be taboo. So I've seen quite the journey and trends and ups and downs and things over the last decade and a half plus.
Wow, that is so interesting. And usually we typically have had females on talking about dating. So definitely keen to get a male perspective and to get some insights into why it's different, why it's different for men and women dating. So I'd love to start there, maybe. What are the differences?
Okay, so first off, huge caveat. Everything is going to be somewhat oversimplified and overgeneralized because there's an exception to every rule that's out there. However, that being said, there are certain more likely and trends and things that could happen. So in its most simple way, the men that come in, you're an idiot. This is what you're doing wrong. This is how you can fix it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to get out. I want to fix it. With women, a lot, it's about getting them back in the right headspace because, especially in New York City, there can be a trope or oversimplification of the jaded and bitter dater. And that can be challenging for anybody to be in the right headspace because it is dating can be very challenging. And so having it not affect you is its own challenge, is its own thing to work on. And I love being in this space because everyone has some experience with dating. Even no experience is experience. And so everyone I come across really likes to chat about it, wants to figure out what's going on. There's always something to discuss about it. There's always something in the news about it. And sometimes I even feel a little bit like a doctor. Show up at a party and like, what do you do? Oh, okay, my shoulder was doing this thing the other day. Like, yeah. Tell me about your date. Let's see what's going on. And I am in a lucky situation that being married, I have things that I learn in my relationship that I can bring into my career, and there's things I learn in my career that I can bring into my relationship. So it's a good feedback loop to be in.
That does sound like a good feedback loop to be in. And so what are the things that men struggle with when it comes to dating, and maybe thinking about, single dads, given that that's kind of relevant for our audience? Are there any kind of single dad struggles that come up time and time again?
I mean, there's two main things I think today's age that the men struggle with. One is intent, because there's two things at play. One, we're human beings. When we see something we want, we tend to go after it, and sometimes that can be a lot of energy, a lot of will coming out. Oh, hey, what's going on? How you doing? I haven't talked to anybody in 3 months, and no, you're really pretty, and I'd really like to chill. But it's a natural human reaction. We see something, and so just kind of slowing it down a little bit and just being able to be a human as opposed to a dater, just kind of start that relationship. And the second thing is a lot of men aren't sure what they have to offer, aren't sure what they're bringing to the table, and they're not sure if what they have is wanted or desired. And that can be challenging for men, especially as a single parent, when your focus most of the time is on raising your kids and protecting them and things like that too, that your own happiness can sometimes play second fiddle to that.
Yeah. One of the things that comes up, I find a lot for both single moms and dads, getting back out there and looking to date, can be trust. Issues with kind of opening up your heart and your life and your world, maybe because it's been such a big undertaking to pick up the pieces and navigate, whether it's the end of a relationship or a partner maybe dying or whatever has brought someone into single parent life. But it is I guess it feels scary and risky to a lot of people getting back out there again.
Absolutely. There's life is about risk versus reward. And when you are a parent, it feels sometimes like those risks can be a lot larger than when you were single. One thing I have heard from a lot of children of divorced parents is that they were happy to watch their parent date because it gave them a template on how to act in relationships, how to connect with human beings, how to take everything that dating can be and roll with it. Because dating interpersonal skills are something that is never taught to us. Pretty much. We have to figure them out on our own through social interactions, through middle school, heaven forbid, through all of these other things. And so sometimes some people didn't get the same textbooks as other people when it came to interpersonal relationships. And, dating is interpersonal relationships with a whole lot more craziness added into it. And so it can feel challenging and unsure how to approach the situation. But most children of divorced parents that I know, or single parents, say that they want nothing more than their own parents' happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely. I definitely think that to be the case as well, and I think I've spoken on this in a lot of other podcast episodes that I've done on the Frolo podcast because it's come up. But this whole this whole narrative about staying together for the kids and everything, can be such a damaging thing, because if it's a toxic or unhealthy relationship, then what message is that
Mm-hmm.
giving to the kid? Well, the environment that it's
Yep.
creating at home, but also the message that it's giving then to the kids about what relationships are supposed to look like,
Yep.
for sure. And just another thing that popped into my mind is I think a lot of people a lot of single parents getting back out there and looking to date put this huge amount of pressure on themselves, thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to even think about, introducing someone to my kids unless I know for sure that they are the person I am going to be
Mm-hmm.
with for the rest of my life, and it's going to work this time, and and I just think no, none of us know that. We can never be 100% sure on anything. But I think my personal view has become that, if you're kind of quite sure, that it's somebody that is, a good person, that there's are lots of green flags, that you have enough of kind of, reassurance and confidence that, of the important things, then if you do the introduction to your kids and it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. It's the, the kids will get to see, okay, well, you know yeah, I mean, okay, this, relationship, you don't stick with something just because it's the first thing that's come along, or you persevere even if it isn't right.
Yeah. Also, there's nothing to say that single parents can't date for the fun of dating. Not every
Exactly, absolutely.
relationship has to be the one that you're
Serious.
going to marry and be with. Yes, exactly. One thing I tell people that they should experience is it's okay, even if a relationship has a shelf life immediately going into it.
Mm,
That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It means you should weigh it.
yeah.
And I think, and I understand that things are more challenging as a parent because you have less time. There's more gravitas on it too. But I do want the parents listening to remember that their fun is also allowed.
Completely. I think that's a really, important message to get in there. And it's something that I covered in my book with Rebecca Cox, How to Be a Happy Single Parent. Is there's lots of different avenues you can go down with dating, and some of it might just be complete, like, frivolous fun for a while, and that's completely okay. Fair enough. That might be kept completely separate for your kids. It probably
Mm-hmm.
will be. It probably makes sense for that to be. But, there's, yeah, it just because we're single parents doesn't mean that everything needs to be permanent and serious and all of that. But yeah, so what would you say are the signs that somebody is ready to date? Or how does someone know, if there's a single parent listening to this and they're like, how do I know, what the right time is?
So there's both no right time and it's always the right time.
Okay.
Um, Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. So even if you are thinking about dating, then you are ready in a certain extent because this is something that you have come to on yourself. And I think that dating is a process. It's getting to know yourself. It's getting to know what you do like. It's getting to know what you don't like. It's getting to know the types of people that are out there. And so I think that as a process, it's important as well too, because if you do want to get married again or get into a serious relationship again or have someone by your side again, sometimes we need to practice so that we can be ready when our Apollo or Aphrodite walks in. And if you have not dated in 20 years and you see the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, I'm being a little bit facetious, it's going to be challenging because you haven't dated, you haven't flirted, you haven't practiced how to build chemistry, you haven't learned how to talk about your own life. And I think that these are skill sets, just like tennis or learning German, that are important to practice. They're important to get out there just for the sake of learning, bettering oneself, so that when that opportune moment happens and you turn over and you look over your shoulder and that gorgeous person is right there, you are ready and you are ready to earn them.
So, on that note, then, if someone's listening to this and they're like, right, okay, I'm going to get on the dating apps, which hopefully will be Frolo dating specifically for single parents. But if they decide, okay, I'm going to get on the dating apps, I'm going to give it a whirl. Yeah, any top tips on how they can create a profile that stands out to set themselves up with the best chance of success? And the other question leading on from that, that I think a lot of people can struggle with, is how do you open a message? I think a lot of people feel that they don't have a line that's witty enough, or they need to think of something amazing to say. So, any thoughts on that?
I accidentally created a line that was exactly that. When I was single, I'd walk up to someone and say, hi, I don't have a line or anything pretty impressive to say to you. So I'm just going to introduce myself and say, hi, my name is Hunt. My God, did that work?
Yeah.
Like, everyone is, not everyone, vast majority of people are willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. It's just a matter of coming forward. But to go to your first question, how do we set up that profile? How do we do the online dating? Two big things I would say is, one, come from a place of yes, as opposed to coming from a place of no. Example, I don't want no players. I don't want anyone that's not into something serious. I don't want anyone that's going to be traveling 50% of their time. Okay, these are valid concerns, but the way you approach the talking about them is not. Instead, you could say, I love people that value long-term relationships. I am ready to have fun with someone for a long period of time. I enjoy people that spend most of their time at home.
Yeah.
You can say the same thing, just coming from that place of yes. And secondly, as opposed to talking about yourself or what you're looking for, describe your life. Just talk about your perfect day. Talk about a fun time, and this person reading will envision themselves with you on this day. And if this sort of day lines up with things that they like, it's easier for them to see themselves with you on this journey. And it's a little bit different than I like A, I don't like B, I like C, I don't like D, because you do have to stand out a little bit. Online dating can be challenging because it comes from a completely different place as in-person dating. Catching someone's attention or presenting yourself in person is one skill. Presenting yourself on paper online is a completely different skill set. And so it can be challenging trying to figure out the best way of doing it. But the more, and this word gets bandied around a lot, but the more authentic that you can be in coming from a place of yes, coming from a positive way. This doesn't mean you have to pretend everything is hunky-dory, but more people want to be with someone that has a positive outlook on life.
Yeah, I think that's such good advice. That really resonates. I can imagine the different energy that both those profiles, essentially saying the same thing but in a different way, would feel. Yeah. And what about then the in real life situation? So if somebody is going on their first date and feels nervous and scared, and it's like, how do maybe they met their previous partner out in the real world, before dating apps were a thing. So to meet a complete stranger, any tips on how to kind of overcome first date nerves and how to approach conversation, or any tips on what people can talk about if they get stuck?
Oh, yeah. No one, before COVID, no one was saying the state of dating is great. And then you throw in COVID, and it is more challenging than ever sometimes, because all of us, I think, have lost a lot of our social muscles, because around as many people as we used to be. So IRL can feel daunting, can feel really challenging. So, and I get that. So one of the ways I help my clients with that is to demonstrate basically right now. I'll speak for myself. I won't put words in anybody else's mouth. I feel that I don't have as many people as I talk to that I used to. And so I need to do things myself in order to bring that in, because nothing is going to change anything except for you. What I have found is almost everyone is a little bit lonely, and almost everyone, if you extend your hand, is willing to take it. It's just that they don't know how to do the extending. They may not want to risk putting their hand out there. But so many people are so happy if you are the one that's doing it. So just putting yourself, just physically showing up is part of it. Just being there, being in play. I equate a little bit to like billiards, like shooting pool. If you don't break the balls aren't going to go anywhere. All right. Once you break them, you can't be sure exactly where all the balls are going to end up, but they are in motion. And that's where things happen. Same thing with you. There's times I've gone out on a date back in the day. The date didn't go well, and I met somebody on the subway coming home from the date because I was in play. And so I think it's important for all of us to put ourselves out there a little bit. Now, a good way I feel to get some practice in this, because as you said, sometimes people haven't dated in 20 years. And so learning who oneself is one part of it, but learning what the playing field is another thing. And so I recommend to all my clients is to go on speed dates as a way to practice, not as a way necessarily to go get a date, but one needs to be ready. What kind of questions are people asking you? What kind of stories do people tend to respond well when you tell them? What do people tend to like about you? What do people tend to shy away from? Do people talk to you more when you're in a blue shirt or a red shirt? These are all things that it's helpful to have this information, helpful to have this data, if you will, if you're a logic-minded person. And so getting out there and just becoming more comfortable with the process is important too, because at the end of the day, I ask all of my clients too, like, what is dating supposed to be? Not what is it? What is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be. It doesn't mean it is. It can be very challenging sometimes and can feel like you're putting yourself out there, but dating is supposed to be fun. And so if each of us can figure out what is fun for us, that is the things that we should be doing to help us attract people to ourselves. Because when you're having fun, your body language is open, you're vibrant, your eyes are sparkling, you're smiling, your energy level is up there. This is the best version of you. This is the version you want other people to see. And I think that people definitely take in we got to do new things and go to new places and make myself a little bit uncomfortable to stretch myself. That's all true. But at the same time, put yourself in places where you're having fun, where you're being the best version of you, because ultimately the goal is not to find another person. The goal is to become the type of person that draws the people that you share values with to you.
That's such good advice. Definitely. Yeah, I love that, to draw the type of people that share values with to you, for sure. So then my kind of final question, which is something I always want to ask the dating experts like yourself, is what are the red flags and green flags that you would say? So what do we need to look out for, good and bad?
There's a great phrase I heard a couple of years ago that I love to repeat. And if you're looking through the world through rose-colored glasses, all red flags just look like flags. So it can be challenging at the beginning stages, that first 6 months of relationships, when all of your emotions are heightened and everything that they do seems amazing and wonderful. Now, Polonius in Hamlet says, know thyself. Okay? That's the most important piece of data and advice that I could give, because If you know who you are, then you can help to understand what your value systems are. And if you know what your value systems are, then it's easier for you to put them out there, to showcase them, to attract people to you as well. And I think that sometimes a lot of us put more weight on common interests than on common values. Oh, you like the Notebook? Oh, you like you like whiskey? Oh, you like to travel? I like those things too. That doesn't matter.
Mm.
What's your relationship with money? Do you have a good relationship with your family? What do you see as the future? These kind of questions are more to the point, but they don't seem as fun to ask. So it can kind of be challenging to figure out these value systems as well too.
Yeah, for sure. And anything that, is an absolute no in, dating that people should be aware of. What about kind of, yeah, I think a lot of people going into, dating for the first time after maybe, not dating for a while or for years is, how much should we be in contact? How often are we supposed to see each other? Are they supposed to, is the man supposed to chase the woman? Is the all of this stuff?
This is across the board. This is everything that everybody is worried about everywhere. What I will say is, and this is really hard, don't think about it. Go with what you feel you want to do. I'm a study junkie, so I've got like a stack of studies, like 4 inches thick, 5 inches thick, that I'm always currently reading through, and I can show you the data. Men love women that love them. So if you are demonstrative, a lot of times women don't show how much you like him. Don't play that card. That's not good advice. Especially as we get older, our time becomes much more valuable. I want to know if this person has interest in me. I want to let this person know I have interest in them as well. So I think that you can be a little bit more forthcoming, and tell people what you're looking for. It doesn't have to be, I'm looking for a serious relationship. I want someone that I can trust and spend time with. Okay, I can understand that. Perfect. Let's work on that. At the end of the day, the biggest red flag to me is someone that expects the other person to fill a hole.
Yeah.
That can be challenging too for single parents, because many of them had a previous relationship. And a lot of people want to move directly back into the warm and gooey center of relationships. But all relationships basically have to go through 4 levels: social, connection, comfort, and then intimacy. And a lot of people that were in relationships beforehand want to just jump into comfort and intimacy. And it can be challenging to go through these steps again that makes you feel like you're 15 or 25 back in the day again. So,
yeah.
You really have to understand that it is a process again.
Yeah. Good advice. So, Hunt, for people listening to this podcast who are like, I need Hunt in my life to help guide me the way. How do people find you? How do people work with you? What are the options?
Yes, please talk to me, contact me, because there are so many resources out there for daters that most people are completely unaware of. And we in the industry, our job is we want to make you happy. We want to help you. So like people that want to get more fit, like people that want to pick up another skill, you go to someone that is familiar with this, that you can learn from. So you can find me at my website, Hunt for Advice. And you can follow me on Instagram or YouTube at Quest for Advice. Or you can just Google my name, Hunt Etheridge, and there's probably about 500 articles out there I've written and published over the years that you can peruse. And I don't know, maybe about 100 videos of me chatting with people not quite as interesting as Zoe, but other people as well too.
Amazing. And we'll add all of that into the show notes as well, so that it's easy for our listeners to find you. But Hunt, so many pearls of wisdom in there. I feel more knowledgeable myself on the dating landscape of today. So thank you so much for talking to me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, and I look forward to more conversations, and I really hope that I can help your listeners.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for listening. And that's a wrap for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, then I have one small favour to ask. Please can you take a minute to subscribe to the Frolo podcast and give us a rating and review? This really helps other single parents who might benefit from it find us. The Frolo app, which is fully user verified for user safety, is available on the Google Play Store and the App Store, and you can find out more info and download links at www.frolo.com or follow us on Instagram at FroloApp. And you can purchase your copy of our book, How to Be a Happy Single Parent, at all the major book retailers. Until next time, have a great week.